So in general, streams. Okay, that's probably better. So that means in theory we are live. Chat. Where was it? I'm a bit in the dark. I don't have light here, unfortunately. It's broken and I did not repair it yet. In the morning I had video. Okay. Not sure if that's helpful. Where is... Okay. Yep. Live chat. And can I speak here? No. Can I speak here? Yeah. I don't know how to write in the chat. If I could write in the chat, I would ask people to say hello, but I still have a problem. I can't see who's there and who's speaking at the same time. Need to Google that occasionally. So actually, it's still a bit early. Okay, so I was busy working on UPX this morning, and actually I've managed to get it almost working. Oh, that's not the one. Python 3.9. Here we are. So this is with UPX. And we're creating a module here. And as we will see, it will be smaller with UPX enabled. And I solved it for standalone, but I didn't solve it for onefile yet. And the reason is that onefile stores a file position where the data block begins, and then it seeks to that position, and UPX obviously changes the content, so that doesn't work. And the first goal has to be to change the onefile data format. So actually One file. Exactly. I think it remembers. Yeah. Yeah. Seeking to the end of file. Then I have a start position. And later I write the start position at the end of a file. And that helps me to know where to look. And actually I should not write the start position, but instead I should write the current position. Not sure if that's a thing, but we need to know the payload data size instead of a start position. So what we would do is here seek to the end and say end pos, and then I don't know, Q means relatively large value. I would say end pos minus start pos. And the Q instruct pack, I have to Google that. I think it might be a long struct Python module. I think these are, there's a table here and it's 8 bytes. And I think I want to know how far to go back. So I might add these 8. Store size of that's interesting. Where is, here it is. So size of the payload data plus I think I want to output this as well. Print payload size like this. And the one file bootstrap C. A C code here that here it jumps to the end of it. And now this is not the start position, but instead it's the payload size. And now that one is string end pos minus payload size. And if I'm lucky, it just works. Payload size Okay, and the easiest way to disable it is to make it not find UPX. At this time, at least. That's how it works. Okay. And now I think it ran, but it was a module. And what we want is one file. So the UPX plugin, let me use the time to use that. The UPX plugin has a handling, has two handlings for every copied DLL, it's called, and on the final result. In onefile mode, DLLs are not treated because the compression that Nuitka is doing on the onefile payload, which the DLL becomes part of, will be more efficient. And for the final result, it should be done though. But for onefile it was breaking so far, and now we need to get it back to work without UPX. And then it should be independent of the program length that precedes the payload. This is something new, that it outputs the version. That's a coming change. But, oh no, actually it does it twice and once it's wrong. That's not correct. That's not good. That means I duplicated something accidentally. Report compiler. I think I changed it to the report C compiler. No. Is this? No. Okay, so payload size, add payload size. So that worked. Let's check what the resulting start pose is. Start pose, because that's where it's supposed to go. And here I've made a modification. I can't copy these things. Works best in this mode. What happened? I damaged it. I want this printf. Okay, so let's run it again. We will be more clever when it finishes, and these numbers have to be the same or something has gone wrong. Not sure about the math here. end position minus starting position plus 8. Probably end position should be plus 8. Yeah, it should be 8 bytes larger than it is here. Not sure if a seek to the end can be damaging. It should not be. I also read the payload size correctly, so it wasn't damaging. And I don't know why this onefile C compiler. Report C compiler. Setup C compiler. Does it does it before? Typo. Oh, this is actually a real one. Spell checker. I recently added a spell checker. Optional. Single occurrence. CLang CL, MSys, yeah. There's plenty of things that I want to add to the workspace settings. CLang CL is a word. Unstripped. Yeah. Unstriped or unstripped? I think that's a misspelling, isn't it? Unstripped. Meaning and definition. Not stripped, huh? Not detached by stripping. Not stripped. And the other thing is unstriped, huh? So I think this is a proper spelling. And maybe it's British again. Doesn't say so. Is Merriam-Webster always? Not sure. So starts at 191 and we want it to go to, it's a different value. We're off by 8. Why am I wrong? Because I take the stream end position is at the end. I already went to 8 to the end. Now I read I am at the end now. And why would I not have to include 8 bytes? So I should go 8 bytes less backwards. I don't get it. I would assume this advances the stream by 8 bytes and then I would have to rewind. I take it. Yeah, it's really like this. I do not do get position. So stream end position is taken before I read the value. And I use it multiple times. That's scary. Minus get position, no input available. Why? That's the remaining data. Okay, so stream end position is actually supposed to indicate the end of the compressed data stream. And this would not include the 8 bytes that include point to a start position. And that's why actually I have to not include V8. So onefile pi with its 8 is wrong. And I think I got this sorted out. That's just going to work. And maybe UPX is also going to work then. Now it's resistant to modifications of the binary that's bootstrapping it, which is not a good thing in certain people's book. But that must be done in another way, I guess. Okay. No. Wait, there is something going on. What does that mean? There's a symbol on the channel, but I need to check it. I think it means I'm streaming my screen on this server. Yeah, that's what it's meaning. I did not find this one here. Very annoying. Onefile Scons. It should be too much code duplication here. So and the CC name. The CC name should be used there. And CC name. Okay, this one here is obsolete. Let me check if this is also duplication with and now let's check if these ones are not used for onefile. I'm still working to replicate. Okay, so onefile works again. So actually onefile UPX. Yep. I'm doing really ugly commits on my main private CI branch, and later I am redoing these kinds of commits. Actually can test that. But now now with UPX on, and UPX is not going to compress things by a lot because the payload data is already compressed, and actually UPX doesn't touch it. This is also a current bug of the develop code. Multiprocessing is always on. This doesn't use multiprocessing, but the plugin still does its thing. And actually, I wonder why. And I will use the anti-bloat plugin to find out. So, when this is working. Yeah. 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 So one of the subscribers, oh actually, yeah, let me do that. I can't. Okay. Yeah, I meant to add him to the Discord subscriber list, but he's using Gitter chats. And these messages are proxied, but they are not users of Discord, so I can't do it. So did it compress it? I think it said so, maybe. Yeah. And now we can compare it, but I think it doesn't matter much. We're only caching the compressed binaries for DLLs. We're not preserving the original size, although that's probably the file that I am supposed to compress. I can check its size. So can I report on the success? Yeah, I might, but yeah. So actually this means for Windows this is now working. We started it this morning in the morning stream, and yeah, I hit this and figured out why that doesn't work. So this one is very ugly, the RST. And why is it going here? It should not go into the build folders. Very, very ugly. Or is it? Oh no, it's the Scons file. Or is it? This one is. It's the spelling errors. I did not see spelling errors, so okay. So let's fight the spelling errors, maybe. Either by disabling the spell checking in the Scons files. Although I kind of like it. So, okay, let's say we add this to the workspace, cflags, add it to the workspace. Why did I not have to confirm previously? Hate it for that. I don't know. That's just costing time, I think. So let me go to the extension and find the spell checker. As you can see, I only had it occasionally. Is it something that I can enable on the fly for a file and then offline and online wide? So allowed schemas. I don't know. I think I had a list of languages here. So I guess Scons is Python, because I think I So do I disable it in Python? Or do I disable it for a certain file? Is it possible to disable it? Files to be checked. Okay. Yeah, the Scons files are extremely ugly, but there's other Python files. Actually, the Scons file should not contain these things. I want to move all of that to Python files, so that's not the real solution. Oh my goodness. So I think I want to remove it from the problem list at least. Extensions. I think I saw that you can define the level. User words, suggestion, timeout, quick pick. What are the options? Quick fix. Check only workspace files that are currently open. No, that's not. Status alignment. In document directives. I think I need to know what cspell in. Wait. What's going on there? Oh yeah. No, I saw that already. In cspell in document directives. So maybe I can That's VS Code. Oh, I'm blinded by the light. Okay. So I can make cspell ignore some words locally. Not sure what I should do with it. This is not working well. I don't know. It was clean here, but this one, I saw this before. This should not be checked by. I did not manage to limit the amount of files it is checking, but it's ridiculous. It feels like it is responsible of every txt file on the planet. Most of them got deleted, and it still thinks of them. That's very ugly. Visual Code. But I've checked that before. That apparently cannot be done. Even though this is an ignored path, is it not? Settings JSON. Exclude. Should be. Still goes there. Okay, when I'm wasting time already. We are not overcrowded, are we? No, not exactly. So let me go on this tangent and look at installed. Where's the rest? Maybe there's a better one. This is the one I'm using. And this one. It's enabled. And this one is enabled. Is it good to have two? Mm-hmm. Can I see who is doing this? Runtime status. Whoa. Takes a while. And Trond. I think that's my workspace. Ignore. Remove. So let me disable it in this workspace. I think that's because of a loading of the extensions. Actually, I would love to be able. I think I will forget about these. It's not happening when I add everything. And extensions. Restructure text. So, no problems. How about readme? Okay. This one is from those guys. Now suppose I do something unresty. I wonder if it's taking a long time or if it's not finding that kind of error. And if I restructure text, if I disable this as well, I think at some point I got prompted to install one of these because Visual Code wanted. So now I have no rest anymore, obviously no errors. structured text. So this was the one I disabled first, I guess. Does it want to... syntax highlighting is now provided by... Okay. And now, do I have... So that's why... Yeah, that's okay. And now... But does it not... Oh, that's actually a real finding. Redistribution. Okay. Is there another one? I think I want to add this word to the workspace settings. So my name should not be considered. X range. Hotfixes. Hotfix is going to be used like that. Oh, now we have it. And that's, I think, where it tells me it's title is too short. I was expecting it to be a bit faster. Okay. Now, as you can see, it's relatively useful, but this one is, for example, it shouldn't consider these. And can I? No. Create a C-spell configuration file. Okay. Credits. Yeah, and I would love if these did not occur. And I want to change the level here, I think. Although it's only info and you can filter for... I think I usually have it like this. Hide excluded files, maybe. Maybe that's what I was missing. Unexpected something. Yeah, in license files that I do not care about. Yeah, this is not good. And I hate these, especially with the Sphinx. It is very much annoying. Organization, auto format, yeah. None of this is relevant. Yeah, I used to have this entirely clean. Until, yeah, I must not open these files. But anyway, oh, no, we found a typo. Spell check work. That's not super exciting, is it? Yeah, need to figure this out. Okay, my question was if there's something else for restructured text. This guy here, 5 stars review by one person. I'm desperate. I would take anything. Activation time a second. Okay. But do people hate it? I feel it works, it's very intensive with the CPU. Actually, on large files, I think I've had to switch away from REST because they become uneditable. So let me disable it. Let me this one is disabled. And install this guy. What does it do? We don't know. Feature. That's probably something else. But it might be better for my website. Still installing. Set file icon theme. Never had that. So reload. Plain text. Structured text. Okay. I wonder what it's trying to do here. I'm not sure. Numbers are displayed differently. Okay. Not sure. And it's not reporting the problem. What is this? Oh, it has suggestions. Okay, let's turn to something else. Yep. Let me look at the Discord instead. Yes, so what am I going to do? Yeah, okay, I now remember. So install Pythons is a module that I intend to use and have like an API that finds an installed Python and then can make a call inside. That's not what I'm going to do. Because I decided that that's too harsh. I would just execute some things with an external binary. So the first thing is find installed Python, should have these objects, and then the installed Pythons may have a given module and a given version. And what I want to do is like make it find automatically Python like it does for the Scons. In Scons interface, there's something for Windows right now. Exactly, like here, get Python install path for Windows, and if you run Python 2.7, this code will find any Python installation of a version that is sufficient to run Scons, and then you will not hear a word about it, and will just run Scons. And only if that fails, it will inform you that you need to do something. So here it says, here please. You can also manually provide it if it's not in the registry, but you want to use an Anaconda Python that's not installed. And then, yeah, for Windows it works like this, and others it searches them in the path. Actually, we could do that even first, but this code here could not use this here, or this could move to there, and the file-based scan for an executable could move there, and the decider, what is the decider? Is this just a feature that I intended to do? Yeah. I need to make a break. I will be back in 10 minutes. AFK, back in 10 minutes. Okay, see you. Okay, I'm back. So this is kind of a good idea. That is it being used? No. But having these deciders is never a bad idea, and actually we want to have this kind of deciders, but I guess I want to scan these and cache them, and then I want to check them after finding them and then skip to looking for the new one. So this function does too much, or does it not? Need to think. I guess the first thing I will do is like make it not change anything. That's my favorite type of change. So if I find an installed Python of a min version, I will just scan installed Pythons, and actually so this is an iterator. Over things, and it automatically expands the list. If installed Python get version liner less than what we want, we can continue. If we don't find anything, we return, and otherwise we return the installed Python. So this way we have something that checks for a minimum version, and when it finds the minimum version, it's happy. I think I would add that, like, because for Scons I think I did something like, no, there's not really any preference. There's no better supported version or worse supported version. So it will just have these versions sorted. I think it hates it when things change during iteration, but no. Okay, so what we would do here in Scons interface would actually forget that this is about Windows. Well, yeah, I think only Windows has this problem that it has to switch. And I don't know, is there? Yeah. I think not only Windows has this problem, but I generally have a need for these. On Linux I also need to avoid, actually there's two versions which are not supported. That is 3.3 and 3.4, which you can run Nuitka with, but you cannot run Scons with them. And so is min version enough, or do I want to say something like acceptable versions? Yeah, I think so if it's in Python versions. We can continue, and there must be something that represents myself. So actually what I would do is like sys from Nuitka Python versions, import Python version str or full str. Str is, I think, just the 2 bytes. Yeah, that should be normally 2.7, so and that's an installed Python, which is executable. But actually I think, do I want to? Yes, I want to fork new processes. Either way. So this seems to be something I need. And Python version as a string. I think I will use the number and get Python version should make the conversion in the same way. Return self Python version divided by 265 maybe plus a dot plus times 16 or 16. Let's check. Okay, the usability, yeah, maybe check it there. Installed Python, so Scons interface should from utils installed Pythons import find installed Python. Yeah. It should now assert. Int and str, oh yeah. %d dot %d. Saves a lot, I guess. I'm not using f strings because I want to run this code with Python 2.6, and that's the string I expected, so that can't be too wrong. And now how about find installed Python? I should run it with 2.7, 3.8, Should I? So it wants the Python exe only. So what am I doing? So I should actually not have these as separate paths. I mean, the message obviously is not correct for both cases, but I can make the distinction. So so it's returned by let me not make this an if chain, but instead, like say, supported Scons supported Pythons is a list, and where it's in there. Otherwise, it's the other list. And now, actually the scanning would be sweet if it like didn't attempt versions I do not want. So yeah, that's something I want to change. So and then I do find install Python Scons supported version, and Python for Scons is that, and then you say if Python for Scons is none. If Python for Scons is none, then we complain if it's Windows 32 in one way. I think we have to complain in the other case in the same way, but just very small wording difference. Nuitka needs to find a 3.5 or higher. Requires otherwise the requirement is Python 2.6, 2.7 or I think people will get that. And then we can put this with a requirement. Scons requirement, give it a nicer name. I like my variable names to be more specific. And then can this exit here already? I wonder if it... yeah, okay. It was just not... It was just hoping that on systems where you use that, there is a Python 2.x under that name. That's not a true statement, and we're not doing that anymore. And so we can get rid a bit of this, but I think I want to change the installed Python scan logic. So I do not want to follow this one, but instead I will, for Python version in Python versions, on Windows there's also the arch, but the arch is usually not as important, but it's an extra chance that you have to find one which has a specific module. So, but for now, let me do it like this. If it is an if Python version in Python version Norden. Let's do it like this. If check usability with a module and a module version. Let's lie. If installed Python so first we check if we have one, and I guess with Windows we can make this a list. We can always have it as a list. So installed Python version we can just go for candidate in installed versions get if candidate check usability. Module and module version could of course be empty. If candidate check usability module version. Make it clear it's a module name, and assert module name is none and module version is none. So let's make sure we do not lie, and if the candidate, then we return the candidate. So for installed Python and scan installed Python. So now we need to actually find one of that version for Python and Python version. So let's do what it's had done here. Find okay, and make this something that returns a list. I think, does it? It just returns one, or what does it do? It lets me decide on an installation directory. Yeah. Installation directory, install path. Is this with the Python exe incontate? No. But on Windows we know that. So okay, something is. I will need to make a break. Let me mute and let me what? It may not be coming. Okay, so we can just use this on Windows. Find Python version. I guess the whole thing should move to here. I think I will move it here. It's just, I don't think it belongs there. And it must not, I don't think I will have a decider anymore. So we get Python install from Python version, no decider, find Python installation on Windows, go over our list. Okay, find a Python installation. First, try a few guesses for the past, and then look. The decider may reject. No, the decider doesn't reject. So search is actually the Python version. Without the dots. This one is file system based. Does that matter? This is for repeated checks. I want to remember that there is no such thing. So that's actually no longer the task of this function. Instead, it will be present as an empty list if Python version not in installed Pythons installed Pythons Python version equals whatever this is going to be. No decider, and yep. Do we or do we not detect all? I think we detect all. So this is actually, the idea was to be fast with these and not use the registry, but I think that has to be done anyway. So, okay. And now install here. I think I removed this, so if OSPath exists, this is already, okay, the install here we do not need, we need to yield the candidate. Yield candidate. And we don't care about what we've seen. Or do we? Maybe we do. At least I do not want to repeat myself. If I find it then in the registry as well, I do not want to do that again. And then I am going to Python version. There may be a suffix. And we installed here is that. But actually we want the candidate is OSPath join install here. Python XC, and then is it, yeah, it's lowercase, that's okay. So I think normpath will work. So let me put this to lowercase and do OSPath normpath on this OSPath normpath, so these can be compared. If candidate not in scene, yield candidate. And I don't think what scene add candidate, it may be consistent, but the 32-bit version and the 64-bit version hopefully are not confused. Okay, now I have this function here. That's a generator that gives me the install path for Windows. And for a given Python version, if is Win22 Windows is Win. I forgot how I spell it. Is Windows. Then we should do it like it's set here. Get the paths. Let me check if somebody joined. No. Okay. So I didn't announce it on Twitter. Maybe that's all the difference. What, I will go like this. And so we installed Pythons. For Windows, return a list. Well, can do a tuple. Get install path for Windows Python version. Yeah, let's do it like this. Result is empty. List, and then we do result extend. And I wonder if I should also do the file system scan. I guess I would make it an ordered set, and then the file system scan probably does not repeat things. So I need to have this. Should prefer the same architecture, I guess. Does it check the architecture? No. It would be nice if it preferred the same architecture, but since no, it doesn't matter. It's already another Python version. We would use ourselves if we were usable, so we will always check ourselves first. So, okay. An ordered set is also something to import. The import hook will clean it all up. The commit hook, I mean. And we don't do that anymore. And we don't do that anymore. And return Python's result. But in Scons interface we did something more. And that is like we don't use that anymore. But I think this one will also be not necessary anymore. This one is necessary. The user may override us. This one is also not necessary. It will find out that 3.5 is in the supported or not. Why is... yeah, okay. Can we... huh. Yeah, okay. I'm tempted to put these last. But doesn't matter much. It's more readable this way, but these are extra. Could also do it like this, and if not, that's much more readable. Then it finds it, it complains if it doesn't find it, and this here is get executable path. That's okay. Wait, where is it? And I want to return the binary, or yeah. It needs to be the binary here already. Return let me paste this and install Pythons here like get executable path plus version. If candidate is not none. What? Ah, okay. If candidate is not none, result add candidate, which may in fact be the same path. And from Nuitka utils execution, from Nuitka utils execution, import get executable path. Yes. And now find Pythons is not used. Why? Install Pythons is find Pythons Python version. Okay, and again we're doing the same thing, but I guess only for because this one is new. So there is a for loop missing. So it's populating them. It tries to avoid scanning for new Pythons. If it has one, it will use it. What's going on here? That's all wrong. There's no scan anymore. Why is this underlined? Should not install Pythons. So this looks pretty good. So yeah, what do we do here with this? So I guess we prefer it to try to use the installed one, but only if it's the same version. So let me not have this and instead put it first in the ordered set in find Python. So if Python version is Python version stru, result add, oh wait, these are only paths, so installed Python, and they're supposed to become objects like sys executable Python version, and this is so the installed Python constructor takes Python exe for Python exe in, so Python exe equals Python exe Python version. Python version is red. Why? Probably bracing. Extend, yeah. It's a generator. Could work. Python version equals Python version. And was I using a method here in the Scons interface, like when I was supposed to return Python for Scons get Python exit, and this method I want to include in here. Get Python exe self return self Python exe. So it's pretty neat. Accessor object. Okay, we can try it out. I think the first thing we want to see is that the installed Python wins with 3.9, and then we wanted to see it switch with the other ones, and then we want to sabotage it not finding something. And okay, let's see what this does. Maybe I should not compile standalone. Yeah, next time. Let me check with pylint. Pylint the unpushed stuff. Yeah, it's doing a bit too much. I forgot about multi-processing. I want to make sure it's not used so I can make a new pre-release. Find installed module name. Yeah, okay. So module name. I don't think we have any needs. Module version equals none. Our inline copy needs no other module, just the right version of Python is needed. Okay, so that much. No self-use, unused import, never. So this one got rid of a Python version. No value for parameter. I think that's what happened. Python version from outer scope. Yeah, you're sort of correct. And actually it's not used anymore. Why? Why is it not used anymore here? It's because we're working entirely with strings. So then let's stop using it. Redefining, unused import, useless suppression. This got less complex or what? Yeah, because I don't do decider, and yeah. Actually, I don't need this excuse anymore. It just does one loop. It's not too complex anymore. That's also good. Let me check and let me see what's crashing. None type is not iterable. Where was none type? So find installed. Okay. So find installed version, and I think it says that none was added to it. So find Python's probably returned none, but that's unlikely. Get is returning the none. So actually, these are empty. So none is not good for iteration. Yeah. Should I make it more explicit? No, it's not. I could make it more explicit, like with an int test. I think none is just a bad default. Should not use get if I get triggered by that. Okay, pylint, no self-use, check usability, that's going to come, I guess, because I will ask it to dump the version, and therefore I need to execute something. So from execution I need actually ordered set, no executable path, like check output, and will it Nuitka called process error is what I need to catch if a return code is wrong, and otherwise I get the output. So check output. I can try and implement this. If module name is not none, check output. So test code equals import with module name. If module version is not none, test code plus is print %s dot under version. I have code that does these things, like for external commands, cache something. I have it for the plugins. I have code that executes an external process and dumps things with setup code and whatnot. But that's actually this is all it takes. So check output. Self Python exe C test code and test code equals print. Okay. I wonder, query, if I'm not making my life, query information. I think it's a plugin. Query, this one, single. Plugins have that code. It's actually also good to detect an import error from another error. And this one is in the plugins, so I would have to move that to process execution maybe. And it's specialized to executing something with a Python. And is this always sys executable, right? But yeah, maybe I want to use this kind of code. The name tuple stuff is a bit too much. Maybe multiple in info name, but it's actually pretty good. But it's also overblown. I don't know. Maybe I will do it later like this, because I only have like output equals that, and then I just have if output split lines output if output -1 not equals okay, return false. Now it's not really checking the version. If module version is not none, so false. We need to compare the version. Check output is something to import. I don't know if this is a mistake to not reuse that other code. It doesn't give me much with the version comparison, because the version comparison needs to be working on strings and do its thing anyway. Okay, so what do we have here? Ordered sets do not have extend. Is that true? Update, huh? Yep. Hold on, extend. I think update is a thing. And when we update it, it should work. And I said I'm not going to do standalone. I know I don't see it usually. I don't see it because strand int. Actually, in the end, I want to go. Okay. Wait, what is it? Python install paths for Windows. Why? This is the other Python version that I care about. And where was this? Windows only code. Yeah, I can do this with str is bytes. Yeah. I cannot do it with the Python version. That's a very handy shortcut for Python do. Undefined variable, import error. Seems to repeat itself here. So it's running, and it probably, if I do show scons, do I see what's being called? Look, it's using Python 3.5, which is not what I want. I wanted to use the 3.9, of course. And why is that? So I go over the versions and I do not prefer the current one. So if I could sort the Python versions by the Python version should be sorted with the preferences. So Python version is a list of Python versions, and Python versions sort with key equals lambda Python version equals Python. I don't know if it puts it at the end or at the beginning, but we can look it up. So key is a lambda Python version to Python version. That's more correct, I think. Is this still method? Could be a function that's old. So 3.9 is at the end now, and we want it to be at the start, and otherwise the version is not changed. So that's a way of getting it to be first. Yeah, so it goes like this, and then find Python would have done this, and actually it would not necessarily prefer to find this. So but okay, the current version will always be populated unless, of course, the current version was not acceptable at some point, and now, that's not. So let me do it like this. If I sort it like this, and here I will say if Python version is the current version, and Python version is not in there. Let's find it. So actually we can do this if Python version stir in Python versions and Python versions stir not in installed versions, then we will find it. And this will prefer it due to the sorting. Make sure that the current Python version is scanned for if acceptable. And now I think I'm attempt to prefer scanned versions. Attempt to find so far not scanned versions. And now the Scons should be running with 3.9. No problem. Yeah. So that's not a regression. And the Scons interface should have gotten dramatically simpler as a result. So get Scons exit path, inline path, Yeah, Scons can also be used if it is found. As a binary. Okay, so Scons interface. What does Pylint say of us? I think the assertion, if I checked for something that has a version, I probably should have mentioned my ultimate goal is to make the zstandard compression of onefile work with Python before 3.5 as well. And all it takes is actually this kind of cleanup and moving this to like being a binary that can be called the compression part. So there we are. And yeah, I'm happy with that. Let me, what happened here? Some code got evacuated. Is it really not, was all doing local imports here? Yeah. I'm a bit surprised that Windows error, is Windows error still used? There's still registry scanning code here? This code did not get removed. Okay. There's other code using it still. Run Nuitka tests. Yeah, this one wants to find a Python that matches. Command starts with. Okay. This is the test suite. It wants to find a specific search equals remainder. Yeah. So actually we can replace this with installed Pythons, find installed Pythons, get executable path. And we kind of insist here, is that correct? Okay. Otherwise, what does return false mean? Our job here is to, we are supposed and tasked to check if it exists. So, yeah, but this code did not really check, but would probably crash otherwise. So find Python version equals remainder. Okay, that's actually not very portable at all, because 3.10 is not covered by this. Okay, I guess this code path is pretty dead, because the 3.10 tests usually run with 3.10 and have found itself sooner. And actually, this code, I guess, is some sort of replication of it. Okay, now let's just remove Python version remainder. Let's have this imported. Let's have that not used. Command equals installed Python. I just want to know if it's installed. And then it will use other code, I guess, to execute it. It just wants to know if it will work. So return installed Python is not done. Actually, it's more like an assertion. But anyway, that's going to work. And execution has still this function that I meant to get rid of. Wait. This seems more specific. Arches. Actually, this one is probably. Okay, so check it with refinement. It's the tests that we. So let me check if 2.7 works, and if it ends up using 3.5. Yes. So that didn't regress. And I believe this is very unused probably anyway. So we might have done that trick. Okay. Cleanup Scons. Binary detection. Again, the internal commits do not count as much. Now, I think if I do this with onefile, okay, there's a question here. Yeah, so reverse engineering, anti-reverse engineering. Yeah, the best way to protect your bytecode is to not have it and to convert it with Nuitka into C code. That's obviously, hold on, I lost track of my, here. Is it already in the Scons? It should complain that I should not have show Scons on. It should complain, let me push that. It should complain that it cannot compress the payload. And now we can look at onefile and see that onefile does have this code that picks a compressor by finding it, and actually what's missing is also to check the version. Recently this is what triggered me to finally do this. It's a relatively bad bug report, but there was some discussion here, and so turns out this guy happened to have an old zstandard installed, and then the code crashes after checking if it's importable. So I would have to check zstandard for availability, or I would have to have a requirement, but even then I do not want to have requirements. Wait, why is it not? Did I not respond? Ah, okay, that's another question. For other yes, they are from Python core installation or from pip installation and simply copied. At this time, the integrity is not verified. But I have a spell checker, but I don't use it. I added one to the browser finally as well. So I had a new life with spell checkers. Anyway, like here. So the onefile compression did say that it cannot do it. Did it say anything about it? Could it not do it? Does it say that? It should say an info. Not sure where it says that, but I think it should say that after the compilation of the onefile. So okay, let's stop the UPX nonsense. That's supposed to be solved. maybe even test with UPX plugin not enabled. And now what I don't get is why I did not see my message here. Is it not even trying? That should give me an import error. And and I meant to find out what this is about. Let me use the anti-float plugin that I enabled. It's not reacting very well to Ctrl+C, is it? No include custom mode equals multi-processing error. I think it's offended by yeah, it's being included because the standard library is always included, and then it patches it. Phew. And yeah, don't even get the error. I think, oh no. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's not being used, but it's being used, it's being included as bytecode already, and when it's asking, it's already there. So actually my multiprocessing, my change which makes multiprocessing enabled by default is not as good as I like it to be. I need it to follow standard lib, and then probably that's not happening. And actually I should not compile with a site module when I'm doing that. So that's another change that I need to make. So actually I might have to undo the auto enable of multiprocessing. Well, it's very important to have that. Yeah, it's very important to have that. I think the plan needs to be like, I need to make this the default and that too, because as you can see right now, it's not compiling a lot of files for Mrs. 11C files. I always wanted to have caching. It's still bytecode demoting it. Yes. So assert build. It's not compiling it as C code yet. The standard library is still not, but it's analyzing it, and then it doesn't talk about multiprocessing. Okay, so for now this will be more workable, but okay, one file compression is not supported before, and that's, this code has to like change. I need a binary. I need a binary that will work on output file name and append the distribution folder. And actually it's already working like this. It goes over the distribution folder, moves the start binary to the first slot. Actually, sorting could use this do this nicer. And then we have a progress bar and do nothing special really. So this could well be in a special binary, and I think I put them below Nuitka tools. Data composer. You have Nuitka tools onefile. Data composer has nothing below it. Yeah, the data composer has nothing. Has nothing below it, so I guess I can make it like that. So media tools onefile compressor, copy. This init file just says something like, I'm just here to make it a package, which is most important for Python 2 only. And let's add that. Dummy file to make this directory package. And then data composer main may actually not be too bad a choice. Let's see. Internal tool, compress the standalone distribution. Attach the standalone distribution in compressed form. Okay, and here we go. Exactly, I think this is a trick that I've used for the tool to find Nuitka package. And then we should actually, it's a bit strange that this is an absolute import. That seems unnecessary or wrong, but I will do it like that. So onefile compressor, onefile compressor, import main, and here we are. It's a bit of folklore, such that it will be able to use the same Nuitka code. And what does this do? It tries to remove Why does it remove itself here though? Not sure why it would have to do that. Even the data composer. Yeah, it doesn't want to import. It doesn't want, yeah, exactly. So onefile composer is not importable. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't. The current directory of a tool doesn't belong into the. It doesn't belong in there. So okay, and now we need to create one compressor of pi touch. Onefile compressor. .py, and now we can go to data composer. That's already a separate binary. Okay, it can be quiet. We don't want that. And it takes arguments and it exits. Let me see how much. I think I will copy the main function at least. Onefile compressor. So what are the arguments? Should go there, yeah. Def main. We should have a logger. Onefile has a logger. Onefile logger info, yeah. Is it overridden wrong? Spelling suggestions. Overridden. Overridden. Ah, it's not enough T's. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay, I said I will do them. So I'm going to do them. Interesting. It's pretty good actually when it does that. Okay, so of course I failed to copy the onefile logging. I don't think, is this, who sets that? No, that's something. That's not what we do. And the stand alone here is the first argument, and the second argument is the output file name. We import sys, and I guess do it like this. And now we can move the code from onefile, which picks the compressor. Yeah, I think there's one catch here. We would like to know Scons gets told if the compression is there or not. Is it? Okay. And what does it do with it? Onefile Scons. It does with it sets a variable, and so we know what to expect, and then we do not include zstandard. So actually we need to know ahead of time, and then okay, so but that's okay. So when I pick the compression, I also pick compression. If I find a Python that has zstandard in at least the required version, when I'm happy. So actually I need to do here is like z compressor Python equals find installed Python and actually we know that 3.5 and so on are good. That we can steal the list from the Scons interface for Windows. So we can say these are the zstandard supported versions. So Python versions is equal to that. Does it give a name for that? Equals. And compressor Python is that. And if I don't have a one, maybe I shortcut not running a separate process. Maybe I don't, but I think I may. Yeah, we'll just call main. Yeah, we'll just call a function there without forking if it's not necessary. So actually, so this one will prefer myself, and then I check if it's myself, and if it's myself I will just call it directly. But find installed Python needs to be imported somewhere. So, and the module name is zstandard. I'm going to comment out module version equals yeah, that's always a minimum version, I guess, 0.15. And comparing the versions will require duplicating some code from package resources, because there's def and so on in these versions of them. So compressor Python is like this, and if compressor Python is none, which can happen, then I can say my warning, and actually I would make a difference on a Python okay. And there we go. That's this. And now pick compressor is So if it's none, I think we return compressor Python, and actually, yeah, can compress is pick compressor. Something's wrong here. Barry. Return. So what's going on here? I think this is code that belongs to the tool. Where is onefile compressor? Do something like, I don't know, put it here, like get compressor function, and I don't have to do any warnings anymore. So accept import error. Return using get compression import context manager. Context manager and from context lib. Import context manager, yeah. And now we just return and all paths return. So that's good. And now onefile picks a compressor. No. Compressor Python. Compressor Python is like get can compress. Wait, can compress is not enough. Get compressor Python. Get compressor Python. Can compress compressor Python. Compressor Python is not none. Is not none. Okay. And let's do the y and x thing here. Y if compressor Python is not none, else x. And there we go. So we achieved so that's more decoupled. So now Scons knows what we're going to do, and this one here can be a tool call with compressor. So actually the onefile compressor is like in its main. I think it can do it in its main. So onefile output file name is what it does, and compression indicator, we're not going to have it. Yeah. close progress bar. Okay, now let's assert faults here. We have to not forget to call this. Okay, so the one file output file name is this. The compressor Python is not that, but I need to get compressor function. Use same file x. I'm repeating myself here, but such is life. If it's a y, it's okay. And then indicator equals indicator comma compressor equals get compressor function plus indicator. Oh, well, I need a lot of things. So the start binary, I need another argument, start binary. So actually I should, so the first argument is the standalone dir. I've not this dir, okay. This dir. So this dir, comma, one file output name. And the third argument is file name. Okay. And I need to make a new break. I will be back. I need a screen for that. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Obviously, I always quicker, but yeah. I was thinking I might have had an easier time if I first had refactored this into a function that has no outside information. So start binary. I think I did that. Yeah. So start binary. And that should be this dir. Set up progress bar. Not sure how much we use. Oh, I hate that. Single. Enable progress bar. Is that actually something I need to do in a separate process? Yeah. Actually, I would have to do that. And why? I think I need to find when it's getting called. Options. I need to like pass on enable progress bar. Let's put it here. Or maybe. Yeah, this other Python may not have a tree, may have the progress bar module, or it may not. But it could find it from the inline copy, and it will find it from the inline copy. Interesting. And does this protect? Oh, I'm not sure. Let's ignore the disabling of the progress bar for now. Enable Scons progress bar, enable the data file composer doesn't do that yet. So I think OS environ Nuitka progress bar equals 1, and then I'm checking it and calling it if it's enabled. If okay, in main, if okay, so we have moved a lot of code, struct, shell utils, struct, things we need. Probably onefile pi is going to use less. Wait, conf indicator, why? Oh yeah. It's outputting the ratio if there's compression. Indicator. Why is okay? Let's use compression indicator. Indicator. Okay. Anything else? No other complaints. Explicit is exit. I like that too. Okay. And actually, I would change the main into something that can also be called. So like here, that's not necessary, but here we have like def compress attach onefile payload. And we take an argument zstr, onefile output file name, and we take an argument start binary. Okay, and then we get called from here with these three arguments. Zstr equals zstr, onefile output file name equals that, and start binary equals that. And is there some other error? Okay, but now we can do the following in onefile.py. I can like make it such that data composer interface has a call to a helper Python run. So data composer path exactly. The interface has its own package, but it's maybe not needed. But this mapping, okay, so it does it like this. Okay, actually environment variables could also be used, and is progress. It could check the options and set the environment variable only there. That would be a bit cleaner. So actually I think I like this kind of function. So mapping run onefile compressor, and it would take the same arguments as the other one. It takes the arguments zstr onefile start binary, and then would be onefile compressor path, and that's actually, so one level up is correct. Tools data onefile compressor. Okay, a package, and then what I did here is options progress bar. There must be something like mapping. Yeah, we can options progress bar. Maybe is there an accessor? Yes. Shall use progress bar. If options shall use progress bar, else 0. Okay. And forget about that. Pass the arguments. Okay, and do we return? No, we do not return anything. And now we have a very nice, why is that not used? Oh yeah, actually that was, it's the first argument, is the directory. Actually Actually, I think the -m mode, but -m is not good with Python 2.6. So, not using it. And that's pretty good. So let's use that. Here, if I think we can make it like args equals should we? I guess. But should that delegate to the compressor? Yeah. So compressor Python is something we pass on and do not have the extra complexity here. So this dir is this dir, this one is that, and start path start at what was it? Start binary. Start binary, okay. Like this. And then we have okay, let's not shortcut for starters. The compressor Python needs to be passed as well, but we are not using that. Wait, that's not what I meant to do. Should I? Why not be daring? Let's go with Pyland. That's probably still true. Windows error is unused. Subprocess is not unused, but where's Windows error? So that's unused, that's unused. Execution had, I think Windows error is a built-in and therefore has, but I think I need to, I don't have that in execution, or where does this now live? I think I will not check on Linux. Well, module version. Okay, let's just do it and hit our assertion. And compressor Python unused argument, that's okay. We do not do any progress bar here anymore. Okay. That's probably okay. Useless suppression of too many locals. This has become not complex anymore. Very good. And Windows error. I think installed Python needs this and doesn't have it yet. So from past, it's importing that. Let me do a comma and remove the redefined built-in here, and that wasn't too bad. Oh, find installed Python takes. I guess that was the module version missing. So We're getting there. Actually, I will again finish the task that I started, unless I find that I am not losing focus. I will usually try to finish things much like I did this morning with the UPX. So Pylint doesn't use that, that's okay. And get file list is now moved. Okay. So this has gotten cleaner as a result, moving the compression out of here. Unstripped, I still don't know what to make out of that. Maybe I need to switch C-spell to British English, but yeah, that's probably what nobody does. Syntax error, invalid, syntax, yeah, what was the syntax? Is there some sort of new lines going on? Yeah, could be. Let me go up to where check usability. So no, there's nothing indented here. It should print. Oh, this guy would have to be module name. Was that enough to cause a yeah? Because it's an operator here. Yeah, okay. And here we have to. I want to look at the output. I think it should be the second last line or the first line. Not entirely sure of that. I think imports may do some outputs. That can happen, like warning this, warning that. But I removed it. Oh yeah. And actually, why am I not using the installed Python? Anyway, there's no installed Python yet. So, output was traceback. It has no version. I thought it has. So where is let me like, so in my case I think I have these aliases. Import zstandard. But I think zstandard version should be a thing. Wait. That doesn't look right. Is it not in syntax error? So, okay, look. Okay, but, oh no, I lost that shell. Okay, Python 3.9 2.7, bin Nuitka run onefile follow standard lib Python flag no site from test basic assets by. I need to yeah, this is where I develop and debugger. That's not going to give much yet. So, what did I say? I was not quite convinced. Okay. So actually, I think what I'm going to do for comparison is strip this for split it by dots, strip it, and then hope it's all integers, because in this case it is true, and hopefully in others it will also be true. So detected version is output -2. And then we like split by the dot and module version split it by the dot, and then we go over zip will stop on the first shortest one, which is good here. For detected version, let's say module version. If detected version for x or detected part, comma wanted part, if int detected part is less than wanted part, then we return false. Otherwise, if we come here, we return true. And actually, that is like here. What's this return true? If a module name is not none, we are usable. Okay. And this is, yeah, let's do it like this. If module name is none, return true. Like make that early return, and then you don't have to run any code, and return true. What's going on here? That's a bit slow. Now, what do we have here? Unused argument still. But it seems that the detection is making progress. So, no. That should have been integerized. I also have functions that numberize versions in parts, but I don't think it's needed. We just check before the non-numbers come. Okay, and that may well be it. Onefile pi is not okay. Dot. Wait, we split it on the dot. This should not happen that there is a dot. Detected part, wanted part, detected version is already split, and module version gets split. So let me move the split to here. And yeah, okay. Like but detected part and wanted part. How can this be? First of all, I think also I need to what happens, but it's Python 2 or what? I'm not sure which version it's checking here. Is this the 3.5 that it's checking? Because then I think output, does it return a string? I think this should return bytes. But wouldn't it complain if I split bytes on a dot string? That's strange. And this is also not correct. If I split by the dot, why would this contain a dot? Okay, what did I do here? I corrected typos. That's good. What's this? I just added keyword call argument style. Here I did a massive cleanup. That's not yet to complete. That's an untracked file that I may want to... What? Okay. I think it didn't do what it was supposed to do, but it got used suddenly. So I wonder if it compressed or not. Should it not know if it expects it? Yes. I think in onefile pi I should be able to pass on so One file compressor path is not none. Wait, yeah, is not none. How about we pass as an argument if we expect it to be done. So expect compression equals no eval sysarg 4. Okay, come on. You can not eval. So expect equal is that, and then we can move this one up, and the main, I'd like it to be last in the file always. And yes, this exit should not be here, and yeah, should definitely not be there. And if the attaching of a payload finds that okay, so this one is, let's assert expect compression or assert not. So maybe I made a mistake and somehow I'm not using the installed Python, am I? I am. I'm using myself and then I fail. So this should actually be compressor Python get Python exe. So I was calling the Python 2.7 and that failed to import, so my assertion should not trigger. And I don't need to see that. I think the assertion being present is good enough. And now it may work actually. And then we can optimize it for the case where we do not have to fork. So if compressor Python get Python exe equals sys executable, I'm not sure this one is as normalized as the other one. So actually I would use file operations as something that checks if something is the same. Same paths. Decide if two paths are the same. This one, yeah, takes more care. So if are same paths, from Nuitka tools, one file compressor import, and then we use one file compressor where is it? Where's my favorite function? This guy. Attached pay file, play. But I only meant to copy that. But I can pretend. Else. There's no turning back here. Just here. Pass all of these. You may ask why I do it like this. I typically change arguments, and when I do, I want an easy time to change the order of things and add things, rename things. Expect compression is not here. Why? So actually compressor Python may also be none, but in this case we know it's we know it's true, otherwise we wouldn't have found ourselves. That's an else. And in file operations, our same paths we need to import from file operations via our same paths. And if compressor Python is none, then also we have to call it, but then we say we expect it to be false, because that's the reason it wasn't found. So if if no installed Python had this, which I will have a hard time testing, then I cannot compress, and I do not have to fork anything. If I have found myself, then I also do not have to fork anything, but I know it's compressed, and otherwise I call the external process with a toolpath, and that's what I expect to happen right now. And then with some luck we're seeing Python 2.7 compressing. Yes, with a nice progress bar. Only 4 files. Interesting. It's running. 4 files is not a lot. So follow standard lib is so much better, or what? So it's this. Yeah, it's much better. And I imagine we may be able to get rid of these. It's actually pretty powerful. Yeah, and here we are. Wow. So it's reduced to 34%. Pretty amazing. Good success. Unicode data PyD and BZ2. I could hunt them down and get them eradicated, but I guess I need to just bite the bullet and make these defaults finally, and maybe even without having the caching, because as you can see, when not a lot of standard library gets used, and I did the anti-bloat work to not use the entire standard library all the time automatically, this is pretty usable. The side module pulls in a lot, I think. So, it's actually, I should make a highlight out of this. So let me ask Python what it thinks of this. Installed Pythons. I added the version checking. Appears to work. Execution. We can. That's just Python and the typo. And assertions. Separate. Reordered the function, I think, with the main. And added this argument. That's all good. And attach the standalone distribution in compressed form. Yeah. Maybe not the best description. And onefile. I wonder if onefile has some cleanup need. This, I think, I might want a better way to say this. Like these ranges of versions, they appear a lot in Nuitka. Like for supported version here, for Scons, for whatnot. I love it. So as a result, and I have a million times of spelling warnings. Spelling warnings, onefile. Let me go over them. Main control, options, re-execute, unstripped. Dozen. Oh. Yeah, okay. Somebody used the wrong kind of. No site is an unknown word. Yeah, these are all ugly certify unknown word plugin base. Generator function. Yeah. I think this spell checking is probably determinism. I think I searched this before. Oh. Determinism. That's a frequent typo of mine. I think I fixed it also. Determinism. That's a better word. Nism. Yeah, I'm not good at spelling. Okay. Yeah. I wonder about the unstripped. I googled it and I found it. So. Determinism and indeterminism, yeah, that's a self-assigning variable. That's not a good idea, right? Oh, that's not necessary anymore. Yeah, that's nonsense. Thank you, Pylint. Too many locals. Still the details to deal with, or yeah, yes, and pose. Kind of like having some of these names. Wait. There is a progress bar, so that's to do is long solved. And Pylint disable too many locals. Somewhat detail rich. Multiple imports. Yeah, the commit will fix that, and the missing docstring. What did we do for data compressor? Data composer main. Internal tool is probably internal tool, compress, standalone, distribution files, and attach to one file bootstrap. Okay, and and now I have what's more important than supporting the old Python with this feature. What's more important is that I achieved that Scons and this use the same mechanism. It got sanitized, like decoupled from the idea of Scons. Yeah, that's a typical thing to happen. When I create a file on Windows, it has the wrong line numbers, and now it will commit it cleaned up, but it will not be able to check the to update the checkout file. So one file compression for all Pythons. Okay. And now if I look at this, it will still be the one from before the cleanups. There's a solution to this, clicking reload. I could convert the file before applying the patch to the new line style, but so far I do not create a lot of files on Windows. So actually, how about we check with Pylint again, and I think we might be done. Obviously the user dialog, need to consider improving that. I think for many of the warnings I need to create dedicated pages on the website and point people to a URL that they can click in the terminal. Most terminals these days allow you to open URLs easily, and then I can give more than a single line of information. Okay. And also I can see how often it's getting called as a page. So that's very, very neat. Yeah, unfortunately I did not have too many visitors. That's unfortunate. I guess I need to put it up on Twitter, because that was a lot more this morning. Okay, that's it. See you again next time, next week. And I need to click. M